everybody and welcome back on my channel. My name is Mag and I am Miss Great Teacher because obviously that's what I want to be, not what I am right now, but that is my aspiration. So welcome back on my channel for a new tag, and this tag is Teacher Around the World. It was created by 3 amazing teachers: E.G. from Life in Kafubaland, Eliza from Emerging Educator, and Nicola from Happy Teacher, A True Story. I will link their channel in the description box below. So this month theme is, this month theme is professionalism and teacher evaluation. And I guess my participation will be real quick because we don't have that much evaluation as a teacher here in Belgium. Also remember that even if I put the Belgian flag, I'm talking about the French-speaking school system or education here in Belgium, so that is, I mean, Wallonia or Brussels capital. So this doesn't apply to every teacher in Belgium. Well, let's start with the first question. Question number 1 is, how are teachers evaluated or observed in your country? They aren't, basically. Legally, I know that your headmaster, your principal, can come into your classroom, your first year or second year or even later, but that's something that never happened to me because the first time I was in my school, the first year, the headmaster was retiring and a new headmaster was coming, and so they forgot to come, basically. So my headmaster never came into my classroom and gave me a feedback. That never happened. I would be glad if they did it, but that's not something done in my school, so that's it. The second way this can happen is by l'inspection. And I mean, I'm going to use the term inspector, and I know this won't mean a lot for you if you are watching this in the UK or in the States, so sorry, but I couldn't find a better term for this. So we have like inspector that can come into a classroom, so they are higher in the hierarchy than teachers or headmaster, and they can come into a classroom. But I'm going to talk a little more about that because this is interesting. Our system is changing really fast right now at the moment. Things are changing a lot, and so they are coming not for a single teacher, not to observe a single teacher, but a team of teachers. So if you teach, for example, English like me, or another language, Dutch, then they will come to my school, for example, and observe every teachers that teach the second year of middle school, not the first year. So when the inspector came last time in my school for languages, for teachers who teach languages, that is English and Dutch, I was only teaching first year students. So they didn't require anything from me, they didn't come inside my classes, and yeah, that's what happened. We don't have any evaluations as a single teacher, it's only an evaluation for a team when the inspector decides to come inside the school. Last year I got an evaluation for some activities I'm giving, and I mean by activities not real lessons or something like that. And the inspector only required of us some documents. So they are looking through our planners, a teacher planner. They are looking through our planification for the school year. They also ask of us to give them a document where we state everything we want to do with the students, how we are going to grade them, and that's a document that we are supposed to give the students at the beginning of the school year, so I also give that to them. And also they usually ask a file from a student, a good student and a bad student. But that's it. So they can check which activities we are doing, how we build things with them. They also ask the evaluation parts, the exams and stuff like that. And the same from a good student and bad student. Some inspectors also like to require the same documents from the actual school year and the previous school year. But yeah, that's what they ask, and then they can come to your classroom. But when they come, usually The headmaster comes with them so he can check that everything went well, and he's there to support you as a teacher. That's something that the headmaster clearly states every time: I'm going to come, so if there is a problem, I can defend you. That's what's happening. And afterwards, after checking all the documents that we have provided to the inspector, he gives a feedback, but to a team. He is not going to point out a single teacher and say, you do this and that's good, or you do that and that's bad. No, it is as a team. And you can get, I guess that's a note out of 4, 1, 2, 3 or 4. If you get a 4 as a team, then don't worry, everything is alright. If it is a 3, then you know that you can improve, but it's still alright. If it is a 2 or a 1, the inspector gives you and your team 1 year to improve, and then he comes back. And the previous report, the previous result is totally erased. So I guess that we are not that worried as teachers when we got evaluated. So number 2 is, how often do teachers get observed or evaluated? There's no real timing here, we don't know. It is a surprise each time that we got an inspector inside our schools. Number 3 is, who does the evaluation? So as I told you before, it is the inspector and not the headmaster in my school. I know that some schools in Belgium have evaluations by headmasters, or that they come usually with the, or that the headmasters really are careful with the first year teacher, the newbie, you could say, and they try to give them some tips and come inside the classroom. That's it. Question number 4, do teachers get tenure, and how many years must a teacher teach before getting tenure? Yes, we get a tenure. I have mine, for example, and you need to teach 3 full school years inside the same school or inside the same group of schools, the same district, I will say. But you need, of course, to have, there need to be a vacancy for your position to get a tenure. On paper, it's really easy to get a tenure. In reality, it's much more difficult. In my case, this was really easy. I was a case like on paper, and everything went really well for me, and it was really easy for me to get a tenure as a language teacher. Next question is, what role does the evaluation play on your long-term career? None, as you could guess from my previous answers. If I have an inspector coming, an evaluation coming soon, I will get annoyed like other teachers, like many teachers throughout the world, but I would be annoyed because I have to provide documents, and I would like this inspection to come, to go differently than it is right now. I would like them to come, talk with me, talk with my students, come with me for a few periods, at least 4. Right now they come for only 1 or 2 periods. And so that they get a real feeling of what is happening inside my classes, inside with my students and stuff like that. Here the inspection is only based on papers and documents. That's my feeling, of course. And I know that I have a lot of stuff to do that, of course, if all the inspectors have to come and watch every single teacher, this would take much more time. But perhaps this means that we need to get a feedback in a different way, perhaps from a headmaster, from a peer or something like that. That is why I am so enthusiastic about TeacherTuber, because I like recording myself and see what I did inside the class with my students. The Batman lessons that you could see the week before was really interesting for me, because I recorded myself nearly 2 periods and it was full time, and I could see what I did. I could also realize that sometimes I am a little too harsh with the students, or too directive, I would say. So this is something really interesting to get a feedback as a teacher. And right now in my country, in the school system I'm part of, I don't have that. And yeah, I think we have room for improvement. Well guys, this was the last question. So thank you for watching the video once again. Don't forget to check the other teachers who are taking part in this tag. I'm sorry for all the mistakes I made while talking, but I didn't prepare my text as usual, so this was a big improvisation, and if I wasn't clear enough, please ask me in the comments what you want to know, and I will see you next time. Well, thank you and bye!